Okay, so very good afternoon, everyone. This is Bhumida. Today I'm here with the presentation on waiting and the absurd in Waiting for Godot versus the myth of Sisyphus. Here are academic information, table of content. Let's begin with the what is existentialism. So, as we know, a philosophy focused on individual meaning in a meaningless world, rejects absolute truths and embraces personal choices. What is the absurd? So, the conflict between human desire and meaning and an indifferent universe. This term coined by Albert Camus in The Myth of Sisyphus. And why compare Waiting for Godot and The Myth of Sisyphus? So, in Waiting for Godot, the character are stuck in passive waiting, hoping for meaning that never arrives. In the myth of Sisyphus, Camus encourages active defiance, suggesting that we find happiness in embarrassing life's absurdity. Uh, Here are the hypotheses. Waiting for Godot and myth of Sisyphus illustrate the core principles of absurdism by portraying characters engaged in repetitive, meaningless actions and reflecting the human struggle to find purpose in an indifferent universe. And research question is, how do Camus and Beckett differ in their philosophical approach to dealing with absurdity through struggling or passive waiting? Here are examples of the absurd works. So first is The Myth of Sisyphus by Albert Camus. The second one is Waiting for Godot by Samuel Beckett, and other is The Stranger by again Albert Camus, and this one The Bald Soprano by Eugene Ionesco, and this No Exist by Sartre, and this Metamorphosis by Franz Kafka, and another one is in our syllabus is The Birthday Party by Harold Pinter. The Myth of Sisyphus by Albert Camus. The story is Sisyphus is a character from Greek mythology, is punished by the gods and forced to roll a huge boulder up a hill. Every time to reach the top, the boulder rolls back down, and he must start again. This cycle continues forever, making his struggle seem pointless and endless. So, what is the Camus' philosophy on that? So Albert Camus uses this myth to explain the absurdity of life, the idea that humans keep searching for meaning in a world that offers none, no matter how hard we try to find purpose. The universe remains silent, just like a Sisyphus, endless struggle. However, Camus does not suggest giving up. Instead, he rejects both suicide and false hope. Instead, he encourages us to accept the absurd and keep living fully. Waiting for Godot. So the play follows the two characters, Vladimir and Estragon, who wait by a tree for a mysterious figure named Godot, and then never arrives. And they continue waiting and waiting, unsure of what to do. And these key themes of this novel is meaninglessness of life, repetition and stagnation, uncertainty and lack of closure, and absurdist elements we can find in the novel. This is circular dialogues, empty action, and lack of a clear resolution. As we read some paragraphs of the original novels in our class, so we can find that how difficulty to we can face to find the real meaning of the through this language. Uh, this table created by ChatGPT. So here is the similarity or difference between this myth of Sisyphus and Waiting for Godot. So absurdity in the both the works. So here is a struggle. Sisyphus rolls the boulder eternally, and here is the Waiting for Godot. In the Estragon and Vladimir wait endlessly. Action versus inaction. So Sisyphus embarrasses his task, and Vladimir and Estragon remain passive. Hope. So in Camus' work, Camus reject false hope, and Bucket shows a blind and meaningless hope. Resolution, acceptance of a fact as a freedom, and here no resolution, waiting continues. So time and repetition. So Sisyphus task, he's a forced to roll and the boulder up the hill forever, only for it to roll back down again. His struggle is a never ending. And in this Samuel Beckett's novel, Vladimir and Estragon's waiting, every day they wait for Godot, talk to argue and consider leaving, but nothing ever changes. Here's the key difference. Camus' view, Sisyphus knows his task is a pointless, useless, but he chooses to embrace it by accepting his fate. He find freedom and happiness. Beckett's view, so Vladimir and Estragon reputation has a no resolution or purpose. They don't act or embrace their situation, so they remain stuck in a hopeless and endless loop. hope and meaning. So Camus' view, he believes that life has no given meaning, and but we can create our own meaning by accepting the absurd and living fully. Instead of waiting for answer, we should embrace life as it is. Beckett's view, in waiting for Godot, meaning is uncertain and hope seems pointless. The characters wait for Godot, accepting him to bring purpose, but he never arrives. In Godot false hope, is Godot false hope? So yes, we can say yes, because he never comes, yet Vladimir and Stragon keep waiting, believing he will bring meaning. The endless waiting show how people often cling to false hope and instinct of taking action. Here is a key difference between Camus' S and Beckett's novel. So Camus encourages people to accept life and create their own purpose, and Beckett shows characters trapped in waiting, suggesting that hope can be an illusion. So here I conclude my presentation. Waiting for Godot and the Myth of Sisyphus explore the absurd, the search for meaning in a meaningless world. Camus encourage acceptance and action, suggesting that we create a meaning by embracing life, like a Sisyphus does with his endless task. Beckett, however, presents a bleaker view where Vladimir and Stragon remain trapped in a hopeless waiting, clinging to false hope that never comes. While Camus sees defines and as a freedom, and Beckett portrays inaction as a cycle to emptiness, leaving us to decide should we act or wait. Here are my references. And yes, thank you so much. Now I would like your question.
So, Bhumi, my question is what makes Sisyphus a hero of the absurd rather than a victim?
Sisyphus is a hero of the absurd because he know his work or his task is very useless and meaningless, but he he uh, keeps going on instead of giving up, and Albert Camus also make him free and happy, but he chooses only this work, and that things give his life meaningful. So that is why Sisyphus is a hero of the absurd rather than a victim.